Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mayday Media. We're pointing out a few articles online, some that interest me. Hopefully they interest you too. Aurora moves into next design phase for DARPA vertical takeoff X-plane. Now this is going to be the unmanned version. I think this is going to be an important step. I know they already have these things up and going, but this is pretty much letting you know what's coming. The FAA issues final airworthiness criteria for Archer's midnight air taxi. We'll burn through this quick article. As you can tell, it's more of a helicopter style. It's not a PAV, and that's what I'm really looking for. And is eVTOL a boon or bane? It depends on how we put it to use. Well, yeah, it does. And if you use it a certain way, sure, it's going to do well. But it's got to be cheap and affordable. That's the problem. And I would personally want a pilot just for a backup, if nothing else. And again, I want a personal air vehicle. That's the ones you get in, you fly yourself, you commute with them to work. That's what the seller will be. That's when you get in the air. I think you'll see that, as long as you can make it easy to learn, fast. A lot like that Jetson 1. It just don't have much of a range. If you like this type of information, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Aurora Flight Sciences has finished its conceptual design of an experimental vertical takeoff and landing plane for the Pentagon and is moving into its next phase. Aurora's blended wing design for the Sprint or Speed and Runway Independent Technologies program will start the preliminary design process, the company said Monday. The Defense Advanced Research Project Agency wants its Sprint vertical takeoff aircraft, dubbed X-plane, to be able to fly at speeds between 4 and 450 knots, far faster than the V-22 Osprey, maximum speed of 270 knots. Sprint also should be able to hover in a stable manner, transition from hovering to forward flight, and feature a distributed energy system that effectively powers all propulsion technologies during its transition, a DARPA official said. DARPA is leaving it up to the companies to decide whether their aircraft should be crewed, uncrewed, or able to fly, or to fly autonomously. Four companies, Boeing, Aurora, Bell Textron, Northrop Grumman, and Piakasiki, received 6-month contracts from DARPA. November 23rd to start the conceptual design. DARPA awarded Aurora, which is a subsidy of Boeing, a $25 million contract modification on April 30th to keep working on its version of Sprint. So far, Aurora is the only company to receive another contract to move forward on the Sprint program, but more could be on the way. There's Aurora Flight Sciences' first concept, more traditional cockpit, but the company's now working on the uncrewed aircraft. So this is what they originally said it was going to be. And oh, look and behold, she has changed quite a bit, where it looks like it's completely unmanned. I just hope these computers can make certain on-the-spot fly decisions that a human can do, especially if this thing's going to be carrying anybody. FAA issues final airworthiness criteria for Archer's midnight air taxi. U.S. electric air taxi developer Archer Aviation has secured final airworthiness criteria from the Federal Aviation Administration for its midnight aircraft, making a significant milestone in its effort to launch commercial flights as soon as next year. The Santa Clara-based startup disclosed a regulatory milestone on 23rd of May, asserting that it now has a solidified path to securing an FAA type certified for its piloted 4-passenger electric vertical takeoff and landing eVTOL aircraft. With the pilot, it's going to cost more. That's going to be the issue. The FAA is classifying eVTOLs as power-lift vehicles and requires special airworthiness criteria for each model being certified. The Civil Aviation Regulatory has issued similar guidelines for just one other U.S. eVTOL developer, Archer's competitor Joby Aviation, which cleared the milestone in March. Midnight is a giant step closer to taking passengers into the sky coming years in the U.S. Securing airworthiness criteria allows Archer to continue ramping up for certification flight testing activities. The company has been flying a remotely operated pre-production prototype of Midnight in Salinas, California, is currently assembling 6 conforming aircraft that will be used as a part of a certification program. Archer claims it has made significant progress on the construction of its first 3 piloted, confirming Air Midnight that it will begin pilot tested this year. Joby's all-electric, called the JAS-41, considered by some industry observers to likely become the first eVTOL to clear type certification with the FAA. Archer is hot on Joby's heels in the race to commercialization, and both has companies exploring potential in the Middle East. So, are they going to require an airport to take off since they're vertical? So you still got to go through all the airport madness? Or are you going to be able to meet up somewhere that's owned by the company and you can hub to another place where the company has another one waiting for you? I mean, I'm curious, because if you still got the hustle and bustle of the airport, you have all the wait times. This thing will have to be wait to be cleared. So that's going to be a big issue. Is eVTOL a boon or bane? It depends on how we put it to use. A taxi that uses electric power and flies at speed at 200 kilometers per hour and has the ability to take off, hover, land vertically. While the vehicles sound like a helicopter, it does not require the high fuel and maintenance costs of one or even an elaborate helipad. This is an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Lilium, a German company, has already begun producing battery packs for its lithium jet and hopes to obtain a European Union Aviation Safety Agency type certification for 2026. Back home, India Institute. Here we go. Airbus's vehicle will have an 80-kilometer operation range and cruise speed of 120 minutes. It has designed with quiet flights in mind to make it suitable for use in cities. eVTOL is a technology that is seeing rapid research and development across the world. It is expected to cut through the road traffic for daily commute and cargo delivery, and even be used for military purposes. Although they will be flying much closer to the ground, unlike traditional aircraft, the technology's widespread adoption will be aided by electric nature and low maintenance and operating costs. And that's one way. Low maintenance and operating costs, and you got to get them away from the airports, because it's one thing you're wanting to get the fuck away from because of all the bullshit you got to deal with at an airport. That's my view on it. That I think the PAV will beat the shit out of the eVTOL all day long, but they're just not pushing PAVs. I guess they just don't want you to think of when cars came out, and within just a few decades, I mean, they had them hopped up, bigger engines, faster speeds, better everything. So, and it created its own market. And I think the PAV would do very similar to create a, its own market in the air. But that's just me. That's kind of how I feel on it. Anyway, let's see how much time we got here. They're good. Well, we're getting close. There's almost 9 minutes. Hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think. You're a fan of this stuff. If not, whatever. To me, it's pretty fascinating. Till next time.